Hello friends, good morning all. This is me, Dr. Kolas. I am a practicing veterinary surgeon under Government of Odisha. The Epidemic Disease Act of 1897 is frequently in news in the context of corona outbreaks around the world. So let's discuss what is the Epidemic Disease Act of 1897. Let's discuss. So before starting the video, first we should know about what is the epidemic and what is the pandemic. These two terms are frequently being used invariably by many researchers, by many public. Everyone is using this word epidemic as well as pandemic. So let's discuss. So let's see what is the exact definition of the epidemic is. So an epidemic disease is the rapid spread of a disease, means quick spread of a disease to a larger number of the people, right, in a given population in a short period of time. So epidemic disease itself signifies within a very short course of time the disease spreads very quickly to a larger mass or to a larger populations. Next, coming to the pandemic. Pandemic is a word that signifies that a disease does not obey any boundary or any territorial integrity or any territorial site or any boundary of a nation. Means it switches from one country to another country to again another country in a very short course of time. So a pandemic is the worldwide spread of a new disease. So in previous years we have witnessed the influenza, the Hong Kong influenza, the bubonic plague, the Ebola virus infections, like all are the examples of your pandemic diseases. So in this context, now we will discuss the coronavirus 2019, that is COVID 2019 disease. So as there is no specific vaccine is yet developed and no proper medications or proper line of treatment is advised by the WHO, only the symptomatic treatments we are conducting. So there is no vaccinations and no line of treatment for this COVID 2019. So no vaccines, no specific line of treatment. That's why, as there is no any specification of in the treatment methodology, that's why we have to adhere to the WHO guideline which is prescribed, and we have to obey the guidelines. In this context, our esteemed Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 22nd March he declared a Janta curfew from 7 am to 9 pm in the evening, so that he urged the people of India to remain indoors. That's why we can break the chain of the infection of the virus. As we know, the virus spreads from one person to another person in aerogenic mode, means through air. So if we stay indoors, if we stay in our house, or if we stay in our house and we have less contact with the masses, then we can minimize the severity of the disease. So the virulency factor, the pathogenicity of the vectors will be, the pathogenicity factor will be minimized. That's why our esteemed Prime Minister Modi had called a Janta curfew on 22nd March from morning 7 to evening 9 pm, and our India witnessed a tremendous response to the Janta curfew call. So in this aspect, our Mr. Modi has emphasized the social distancing. Means we have to maintain a specific distance between person to persons, so that the disease outbreak will be minimized, right? So let's discuss what is the Epidemic Disease Act. It is, as the act itself signifies, as it is a act of 1897. So this act is promulgated, or this act is framed by the British era. So it is a British era act, better to say. So British माने कहीं कि ये एक्ट को से माने एम्फासाइज और कहीं कि ये एक्ट को से माने प्रमोलगेट करते थे. से टाइम रे बॉम्बे प्रेसिडेंसी रे गोटे बुबोनिक प्लेग, मीन्स जोटा आम मूषा ठारू ह्यूमन को ट्रांसमिट हुए, ताकू कोई बुबोनिक प्लेग कहते, जार भेक्टर थिला एर्सिनिया पेस्टिस, गोटे माछी टाइप रो सेटा माछी, से माछीटा कौन करे आमर मूषार जो मलमूत्र ड्रॉपिंग्स रु सेटा भेक्टर सेटा ट्रांसमिट करे ह्यूमन को, से प्लेग फीवर लाइक सिम्पटम कि लोक बहुत मरी जाते से एपिडेमिक थिला इन ऑर्डर टू कर्ब दैट एपिडेमिक द ब्रिटिशर्स दे मेड ए लॉ दे फ्रेम्ड ए लॉ दैट इज नोन एज द एपिडेमिक डिजीज एक्ट ऑफ 1897. So let's discuss what is the act is. We have already discussed the to curb the bubonic plague that has spread as well in the Bombay Presidency during 1890s, right? The Britishers, they made it. Subsequently, in a routine manner, our country also exercised this act to check the outbreaks of disease such as swine flu, dengue and the cholera, which is also a types of epidemic that causes a heavy mortality among the masses. So let's discuss what is the act exactly is. So in the first, so this act is a very short one, is a very small act and there is less provisions in the act. So in the first sections it clearly says the short title and the extent. It describes about the act, power to take special measures and prescribe regulations to dangerous epidemic disease act. It is very much important, the section 2, because the power to take special measures and prescribe regulations, very important regulations to regulate, to control to dangerous epidemic diseases. Then power of the central government, एथिरे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट रो रोल कौन रहिबो. Then penalty, those people who are not obeying the act or those people who are not in accordance with the act, then the penalty will be given, and the protection to persons acting under that, means there is some safeguards are there in the under this act. So the Epidemic Disease Act, it is of 1897, the Act number 3 of 1897, an act to provide the better prevention of the disease of dangerous epidemic diseases, whereas it is expedient to provide for the better prevention of the spread of dangerous epidemic disease. It is hereby enacted follows. So it's a very short title extent. The act may be called as Epidemic Diseases Act of 1897. It is extended to whole India except the territory which is immediately before the 1st November of 1956 were comprised in the Part B state. So you just ignore this, and it is extended to whole states as well as the union territory of the India. As we have told, the Part 2 of this act is very important, because I am telling why this Part 2 is very much important. In every notification you will find the section 2 or the section 2 of the Epidemic Disease Act, always it is written. I will show you in the next government orders. So the Part 2, let's discuss what Part 2 is saying. Part 2 is saying power to take special measures. You just remember, see, power to take special measures and prescribe regulations as to dangerous epidemic diseases. When at any time, you listen very carefully, when at any time state government is satisfied, that means this section 2 is saying about the role of the state government. If the state government is satisfied that or any part of the thereof is visited or threatened, that the ordinary provisions of the law for the time being force are insufficient for the purpose, may take or require or empower any persons to take such measures, and by public notice prescribe such temporary regulations, very important, such temporary regulations to be observed by the public or by any persons or class of persons as it shall deem necessary to prevent the outbreak of such diseases, the spread thereof, and may determine in what manner and by whom any expense incurred shall be defrayed. Right? आपने किसी बुझी पार नथि. Means in case of any ordinary situation, means suppose आपन गोटे जगह डेंगू व्यापी गला कि आपन गोटे जगह malaria व्यापी गला, it's a very ordinary cases, so that आमे एडो awareness करिकी ताकू आमे ट्रीटमेंट करेकी आमे से डिजीज रो virulence टाकू आमे कमी परियो. It's an ordinary method of controlling the disease. If some disease are coming and there is no possible way to control this disease in an ordinary manner, or so we have to follow this Epidemic Diseases Act of 1897. So आमे सेतमे टेम्पोरारी कौन करे, आमे से टेम्पोरारी किछि प्रोविजन फिक्स करबा इन ऑर्डर टू चेक द मीनांस ऑफ दिस डिजीज. सेटा कहा ऊपर डिपेंड करू, सेटा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ऊपर डिपेंड करू. सो द एक्ट टू dealing with the role and powers of the state government during the Epidemic Diseases Act. Right? What is the 2A saying? It says the power of the central government. When the central government is satisfied that India or any part of it, or India or any part thereof is visited by or threatened with an outbreak of any dangerous epidemic diseases, and that the ordinary provisions of the law for the time being is in force are insufficient to prevent the outbreak, like malaria, like your common cold, छोट छोट डिजीज जोड़ा कि इजिली प्रिवेंटेबल डिजीज, सो ऑर्डिनरी प्रोविजंस द्वारा सेना करिबो. जोड़ा ऑर्डिनरी प्रोविजंस द्वारा जो डिजीज को हमें चेक करि परिबा नाही, for the time are insufficient to prevent an outbreak of such diseases or the spread thereof, the central government must take measures and prescribe regulations for the inspection of any ship or vessels. Means those ships and vessels that are coming from the abroad, and the central government saying that we must check, we must have surveillance measures for the ship and vessels as well as the airport, because at that time the airport was not established, because that's why during 1897, so it was only given the ship vessels. In this context now it is also included the airlines also, railways also. Ships and vessels are arriving at any port in the territory to which act extends, and for such detentions thereof or of any persons intending to sail therein or arriving thereby may be necessary. So it clearly saying that the central government has the power to check, to scrutinize for these persons, those people who are coming abroad either through naval route or through aerial route or through train route. So at the checkpoint the government must ensure for the scrutinization of the persons that are whether they are suspect, whether they are actually carrying the disease or not. So it is the duty of the central government, because the railway, the airports, the sea, the ports, all are under the union list. Right? We'll discuss why the section 2 is given to the state government and why section 2A is given to the central government. Okay, we'll discuss. Those people who are not obeying this Epidemic Disease Act of 1897, they will be penalized or they will be punished under the section 180 of the IPC. Right? And for the protection to the persons acting under this act, no suit or other legal proceedings shall lie against any persons for anything done or in good faith intended to be done under this act. So no legal proceedings to be drawn those persons who have a good intention in order to check the infection possibility of this disease. So the center asked, so under section 2A, this 2A, you just observe, the center has asked state, center will ask the state and union territories to invoke, right, to make work or to make the provisions of section 2. We have already discussed section 2 of the Epidemic Disease Act of 1897, so that health ministry of the concerned state or union territory are enforceable. Means this central government will issue or will direct the state government that your concerned health ministry should give advisory to the public in order to check the growing epidemic tendency of the disease. At present, yesterday I have made this slide, that is 26th March of 2020 at 11:30 night. At present, 722 COVID 2019 cases have been confirmed in the India. So you can track in the government site, that is 722 cases, confirmed cases, active is 656, but you just see confirmed active and the recovery rate is too less, only 50, only +7, and the mortality is 16. And you just mark the Maharashtra is the worstly affected state. Maximum number of the confirmed cases are there, right? And the Rajasthan, the UP, the Gujarat, the Kerala, sorry, again the Maharashtra, the Kerala also worst affected. The Karnataka, the Telangana, all the states are experiencing very badly the situations. If we analyze the figure, that is the confirmed till March 25 March. First we have experienced a very parallel line, means very few cases, but suddenly the cases increases, the numbers of the confirmed cases increases suddenly. And if you see the recovery rate, it is almost lying parallel. There is no changes in the recovery, means slight marginal changes in the, and with the continuous effort like the Janta curfew called by the government and the lockdown called by the Modi for the 21 days, it causes a very less mortality among the populations, but the confirmed cases number is going high. So the center asks the state government to enforce the provisions or to enforce the act through advisories, like through its health ministry. So center state relations here exist. आमे एठी आमे तो लिंक करिया पॉलिटी सहित, इंडियन पॉलिटी तो लिंक करिया. So this, so it is center भी किछि रोल्स रहउची, state रो किछि रोल्स रहउची. So this is the center state relationship, right? So this comes under the federal structure of the Indian constitutions, which is under the schedule 7 of the constitutions. Under the schedule 7, in order to maintain a harmony between the state and the center, to maintain a good relations between the center and the state, 3 lists are there. That is the union list, that is the state list, and that is the concurrent list. Under union list, the union only exercises its power. Under state list, the state are exclusively exercises power, and under concurrent list, both union and the state can exercise their power. So this is a very beautiful structure that has been laid in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. So wow. So if you see, so I have grabbed this photo from the M. Lakshmikant of the 4th edition. You mark here Naval, Military, Air Force works, right? All are under the union list, like under 4. मीन्स जो लोक आमर आसुंदी बाहर फॉरेन से आसुंदी एयरपोर्ट रोचंदी शिप रे आसुंदी पोर्ट तो डिटेंशन करा होची तो क्वारंटाइन रखा होची आइसोलेटिव रूम रखा होची सेटा कोन सेटा तो सेंटर ता ऊपर ही एक्सरसाइज करूची तार पावर, राइट? देखिए स्टेट लिस्ट, देखिए स्टेट लिस्ट आप क्लियर कर देखि परबे एठी public health and sanitation and the medical. Public health and sanitations and medicals. So medical, public health and sanitations are under the state list. State list rahila mane states are empowered exclusively to do legislations over the public health, sanitation and the medical. So center directs the state, dear states, you should give advisories by through this act of Epidemic Disease Act of 1897 to your public, so that the disease, the outbreak of the disease, the intensity of the disease, the virulence of the disease will be minimized to a greater extent, so that our public will be safe. So public health, sanitation and the medicals are under the state list under the serial 6, right? So now देखिए बर्तन आमर सेंटर स्टेट को देला परे ऑर्डर देला परे आमर स्टेट कोन कला से एपिडेमिक डिजीजेस एक्ट को बेक्स करिके आमर गोटे Government of Odisha Health and Family Welfare Department on 13th March 2020 रे से letter issue कले से कोजी in exercise the power conferred by the under section 234 of the we have already discussed 234 of the Epidemic Disease Act of 1897. Government of Odisha is pleased to frame following regulations. Mark here means center कहला परे से regulations कला से control measures नेला for the prevention and containment of coronavirus diseases 2019, that is COVID-19. So the regulations may be called the Odisha COVID-19 regulations 2020. Right here under this act some peoples are giving the act gives some peoples the empower officers means they have the power to make laws or to make guidelines or to make advisories. Those people are the director of the health services, director of the public health, and the director of the medical education, the training, DMET, and all collectors and municipal commissioners have been empowered to take such measures as are necessary to prevent the outbreak of the COVID-19 in the spread of their respective jurisdictions. Right? In their jurisdiction, they are the sole competent authority to make laws or to make regulations. Not laws, make regulations. In this act, it is saying all hospital, that is government and private, should be COVID 2009 corners, means they have facilities for the both private and government hospitals for screening of suspected cases of the 2019. Right? Next, in any cases the person has any such history of travel to affected areas in last 14 days and he is asymptomatic, he or she must return in home quarantine for 14 days from the day of the exposure. He or she must abide by the government by the home quarantine guidelines issued by the Ministry of the Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, meticulously. Persons who do not observe home quarantine guidelines shall be quarantined in quarantine facilities set up by the government. So the persons who are suspected for the exposure to the COVID 2019, they should be locked, or they should be provided a 14 days quarantine. Quarantine means they should be kept in a room under the observation of the medicos, or they will be under the medical supervision for next 14 days, because the COVID 2019 virus, this coronavirus, having the what it is called, its gestation period, or better to say its pathogenesis period is 14 days. And within 14 days the virus exhibits its symptom. In the next guideline, the persons with travel history and symptoms as per case definition to the COVID 2019 must be isolated in a hospital as per the protocol. He or she will be tested for COVID-19 2019 as per protocol. So as per protocol, the persons must be screened. Information of all such cases must be given to state integrated diseases surveillance unit and collector of the district local municipal commissioners immediately. So all these so these are the provisions under the Epidemic Disease Act of the in the COVID 2019 regulations, which is taken by the Odisha government basing upon the Epidemic Disease Act of 1897. In the video also it is saying 14 days quarantine is a must. Laboratory must be set up. The private healthcare institution intended test, those private hospitals they desire to test the COVID 2009 must send their test sample through IDSP unit. The state IDSP unit will arrange testing facility as per the guidelines issued by the Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR, New Delhi. So some restriction measures have been enforced in order to curb the disease. So barring entry and exit of the populations from the containment area, exposure of school offices, cinema halls, swimming pools, gyms, etc. and banning mass congregations function will be necessary. जमती कि स्कूल ऑफिस सिनेमा हॉल स्विमिंग पूल समस्त जिम समस्त बंद कर दिया गला एमती कि मांगलिक कार्य विवाह कार्य हो जो मास पॉपुलेशन जोड़ी कांग्रिगेट होते जोड़ी एकाठी होते ताको भी बैन करागला फंक्शंस right initiating active and passive surveillance of the covid 2019 cases active surveillance means hame directly the surveillance rakhiya passive surveillance means hame those people who are suspected or jo mane to odia sandigdha ko hoy taku hame isolation room re rakhiya right hospital isolations of all suspect cases and their contacts right धर गोटे परिवार धर जन को जदि कोविड 2019 सस्पेक्ट हो आम तार से लोक को आनी हॉस्पिटल रखिया प्लस ता फैमिली को हम सोसाइटी से मिसिया देवानी ताको भी आम आइसोलेशन ताको अंडर डायरेक्ट ऑब्जर्वेशन से तो रखिया राइट सो डेजिग्नेटिंग एनी गवर्नमेंट बिल्डिंग एज ए क्वारंटाइन फैसिलिटी जमती आम भुवनेश्वर बर्तमान आमर देखाई ओयूटी एससीबी आपंकर सब हॉस्पिटल बर्तमान क्वारंटाइन फैसिलिटी को रखाई सो डेजिग्नेटिंग एनी गवर्नमेंट बिल्डिंग एज क्वारंटाइन फैसिलिटी एनी अदर मेजर्स एज डायरेक्टेड बाय हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर डिपार्टमेंट right so these are the provisions right so all the three provisions are at par with the 2, 3, 4 of the provisions of the Epidemic Disease Act of 1897 so similarly the Kerala government has issued similarly COVID 2009 regulations here you should mark the word regulations right basing the 2, 3, 4 of the Epidemic Disease Act of 1897 like the NCT of Delhi also it issued the advisory what it has written in exercise the power conferred by the Delhi Epidemic Disease Act COVID 2009 regulations it will always regulate Epidemic Disease Act Delhi government कौन कला so school college IIT polytechnics बोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी सब कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट सब बंद कर देला टिल 31 मार्च ऑफ 2020 बर्तन सेटा को एक्सटेंड पुणी होला 14th of April 2020 the operations of all cinema halls in the NCT of Delhi will be suspended till 31st March 2020 the operation of public swimming pools in NCT Delhi to be suspended till so all are the regulations by the respective state government so जेमति केरला नेला दिल्ली नेला तबरा हम देखिया एटा को महाराष्ट्र भी सेमति तांकर नेछि so सब स्टेट तांकर ओन रेगुलेशंस पास करछने बेसिंग अपॉन द एपिडेमिक डिजीज एक्ट ऑफ 1897 so India is now heading towards a complete lockdown जेमति मोदी 24th मार्च रे से डिक्लेयर करले कि नेक्स्ट आपनकर 21 दिन 23rd आई थिंक से 23rd से डिक्लेयर करले कि से कि 21 डेज जाए इंडिया सब लॉकडाउन रहबो लॉकडाउन डेफिनेशन सला जेतरा गुड एपिडेमिक डिसीज कि जेतरा किछि व्यापी जाए सेतबे it the country urging its citizens to stay indoors not to come outside so that in order to minimize the spread of the disease हम जत्ती कि लोक कांटेक्ट्स रे आसीबा सेत्ती कि हमर हमें सेत्ती कि vulnerable सेत्ती कि हमें susceptible होउछंती इन्फेक्शंस एजेंट को आमे रिसीव करिया पे से हम इंडोर रहि जबा तो से भाइरस टा बेसी समय बाहर रहि परिबो नै तने गोटे भाइरस गोटे ह्यूमन टू ह्यूमन जतबे एयर ट्रांसमिशन चेन से एयर चेन दा सेटा सेठी ब्रेक हो दैट्स व्हाई इंडिया अडॉप्ट्स ए कंप्लीट लॉकडाउन काहे देखा जी आपण इटली रे देखिबे कहीं इटली तो मास कहीं डेथ है बहुत रिजन्स अच्छी कहीं देखिए लाइफ स्पान जनरली हिसाब कर अराउंड 87-88 इयर्स हिसाब कर कंपेयर टू आम इंडिया मानकर के 65-67 को हिसाब करा आम जो देखिए आम कंप्लीट लॉकडाउन न करिया आम देखिए मोर देन 50% ऑफ आवर इंडियन पॉपुलेशंस दे आर लाइंग बिटवीन दी 15 to 60 इयर्स ऑफ एज जो वर्किंग एज पॉपुलेशंस आम इंडिया अधिक आम जदि बाहर को बेसी एक्सपोजर आमर जदि बेसी मोर्टालिटी रहिबो त आमर फ्यूचर रे आमर इकोनॉमी आमर वर्किंग एज पॉपुलेशंस नंबर डिक्लाइन हो सेतै मोदी ए ए वर्किंग एज पॉपुलेशंस कथा भी चिंता करी से ना 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 आम बाहर को बाहर ना वी शुड रिमेन इन आवर होम वी शुड रिमेन इन इंडोर्स सो दैट द डिसीज आउटब्रेक कैन बी मिनिमाइज्ड टू ए ग्रेटर एक्सटेंट राइट से 21 डेज रे कंप्लीट लॉकडाउन देले सेमिति भी आम ओडिसा रे भी ताको भी फॉलो कर दियाला तांको भी आम ओडिसा रे भी सेमिति कंप्लीट लॉकडाउन कर दियाला ये ला हमर सुब्रत बागची सर जी कि आमर ओडिसा मुखपात्र जे स्पोक्स पर्सन जे थिले जे कि कोरोना रो ऊपर से डील करूछंती सो मोदी सर कहले कि कोरोना मीन्स कोई रोड पर ना निकले. सो व्हाट्स ए ब्यूटीफुल मेसेज गिवन बाय आर मोदी. आप देखिए किसी लोक आप किसी न्यूज देखुए कि ये देखुए पुलिस जो लोक मैंने रास्ते बुलूँ उठ बस कर दी पुलिस आर बीटिंग दी पब्लिक यूजिंग देयर लाठी चार्ज ऑल दी थिंग्स आर वी आर सीइंग इन द टेलीविजन. किसी लोक कहे ना 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 मत तो मोर मु कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मत कही तुम इंडिया जेकोसी जगार मन इच्छा बुली पार सर मु कहूँ सर इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कही इज इट अफेक्टिंग आवर फंडामेंटल राइट. तो पुलिस जो मना कर बाहर की बाहर गवर्नमेंट मना कर बाहर को बाहर सम पीपुल्स आर क्वेश्चनिंग जमी आप इंटेलिजेंट लोक जो भिडियो मोर देखुं से मत ना ना मत तो मोर राइट्स अच्छी इंडिया जेकोसी जगह बेफिकर भाई बुली पारि. इज इट अफेक्टिंग आवर फंडामेंटल राइट जोटा आर्टिकल 19(1)(d) रे कहुई टू मूव फ्रीली थ्रू आउट द टेरिटरी ऑफ इंडिया. मु मन इच्छा इंडिया जेकोसी जगह बुली पारे मत कहीं अटक पारे. इज इट अफेक्टिंग आवर फंडामेंटल राइट बिकज फंडामेंटल राइट बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर कन्स्ट्रेंट राइट बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर भाई मैंने आम न बुली पार तब फंडामेंटल राइट्स हामपर है. फंडामेंटल राइट्स हामपर बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर डॉक्ट्रिन्स भी आमर वायोलेटल. इज इट राइट वी कैन मूव कैन वी रोम वेरी फ्रीली नो नो बिकज जो मैंने आर्टिकल 19(1) पढ़ी से आर्टिकल 19 सबक्लज 4 भी पढ़ा दरकार. कौन सबक्लज 4 अच्छी कहूँ आर्टिकल 19 सबक्लज 4 टेलिंग नथिंग इन द सबक्लज C of the said clauses shall be affect the operations of any existing law far as it imposes or prevent the state from making any law imposing the interest of the sovereignty, the integrity of the India or public order or morality, reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the right conferred by the said sub-clause. Means when there is a subject which is threatening our integrity or sovereignty, which is threatening the public order or morality, so at that time reasonable restrictions like curfew, like lockdown must be imposed in order to maintain the communal harmony as well as the for the benefit of the society. So reasonable restriction also telling under 19(4). So जो मैंने बाहर बोलुछन गाड़ी धरी की they should not roam freely because under article 19(4) lockdown curfew may be imposed upon you, right? So why was this act is criticized in past? So because it is a एटा को मुझे बर्तन यही सेन्स रे कहबिनी तो पास्ट तो क्रिटिसाइज कराला बर्तन तो मुझे कहबी क्रिटिसाइज करवा नुह करवा कथा नुह बिकज एटा बहुत गोटे इंपोर्टाट आम बिकज आम देश जदि यही टाइम जदि आम यूनाइट नवा जदि आम इंडोर्स न रहा देन देयर मे बी ए पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ सीवियर डेथ सीवियर मोर्टालिटी राइट. सो यहीटा को प्रिवियसली क्रिटिसाइज कराला बिकज फास्ट ऑफ ऑल इट इज ए वेरी पोटेंशियल अब्यूज करने भी रखाई बिकज गोटे डिजीज आउटब्रेक हो गोटे गवर्नमेंट से डिजीज को सी एपिडेमिक डिजीज एक्ट अंडर रेगुलेशंस कर मन इच्छा लोक सस्पेक्ट को उठे घर नहीं पोटेंशियल्स फॉर अब्यूज. फर्स्ट सेकेंड बाय द एक्ट कॉलोनीज अथॉरिटी जो ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट वुड सर्च सस्पेक्टेड प्लेग केसेस जोटा बुबनिक प्लेग टाइम जो 1890 मसीह होता सस्पेक्टेड मान को सर्च करता घर एवं passengers from the forcible segregations evacuation and the demolitions of the infected places right. सेटा को बाल गंगाधर तिलक भी तांको ऊपर इंपोज से एक्ट को बेस करी 18 मंथ्स ताको जेल तांको दंड भोगिया पड़ता बिकज से केसरी तांको दुईटा न्यूज पेपर थिला केसरी आउटेला महारता जोटा कि से क्रिटिसाइज करथिले ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट को नॉट टेकिंग एडिक्वेट मेजर द सैनिटरी मेजर्स इन ऑर्डर टू चेक द बुबनिक प्लेग ड्यूरिंग दैट पीरियड. सो एग्जांपल्स ऑफ द इन्फ्लुएंस मुझे कहते जमती कि जो एपिडेमिक पैंडेमिक डिजीज आसिले आम ए डिज को आम रिवोक करूँ तो इनभोक सॉरी नॉट रिवोक आम इनभोक करूँ जमती कि दुई गोटे एग्जांपल दूसरी 2018 रे द डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर ऑफ द गुजरात फतोदरा इश्यूड ए नोटिफिकेशन अंडर द एक्ट डिक्लेयरिंग द खेदा खामसिया विलेज इन द वागदिया तालुका आज कॉलेरा अफेक्टेड 31% कंप्लेंट ऑफ सिम्पटम ऑफ द डिसीज. सो एटा को 2018 रे गुजरात कलेक्टर जन भी ताको इश्यू करते इन 2015 ऑल्सो टू डील विथ द मलेरिया एंड द डेंगू इन चंडीगढ़ द एक्ट वाज इम्प्लीमेंटेड एंड कंट्रोलिंग ऑफिसर्स आर इंस्ट्रक्टेड टू एंश्योर द इश्यूएंस ऑफ द नोटिस एंड चालान्स ऑफ ₹500 टू द ऑफेंडर्स राइट. Another in 2009 also to tackle the swine flu outbreak in the Pune Sections 2 again the act powers are used to open screening centers the state power rochi in saving hospitals across the city, and swine flu was declared a notifiable disease. Means we should notify this disease as a epidemic disease to the higher authorities, and that higher authority will finally to the WHO, the World Health Organization. So these are the grim situations caused by the COVID 2019 virus till date, and the red marks are heavily infected, and the white is are the more than 100 number of cases in the confirmed cases जोड़ा सो रोची they are symbolized as the red marks, and those are less than 100 they are in the white mark. So you may see the whole world is now experiencing the menace of this disease, right? This picture it is better to say maximum all countries are all countries are they are experiencing these diseases. So এই সময়ে কিছু advisories ମୁଁ as being a responsible citizens of this republic I would advise, and being a responsible veterinary doctors I would give you message to my all my brothers and sisters in the country that don't keep eye on dot faith on the fake news যেটা গুজব ফুজব উপরে আপনারা বিশ্বাস করুন, রিউমর্স অপপ্রচার উপরে বিশ্বাস করুন, রাইট? କିଛି ଦେଖାଯାଉଛି କେଉଁ ଜାଗାରେ କାଳୀ ମାଆଙ୍କର କ୍ଷୀର ଦେଲେ ସେଇ ଜାଗାରେ କରୋନା ଲାଗୁନି, କେଉଁ ଜାଗାରେ କିଏ କହୁଛି ଗୋମୂତ୍ର ପିଇବାକୁ ଦେଲେ କରୋନା ହେବନି. So all these are fake news, these are not tested as well as proven, right? So ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ନିଜର ବଡି ଇମ୍ୟୁନିଟି ଉପରେ କେବେ ବି ଓଭର ଏଷ୍ଟିମେଟ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ ନାହିଁ. କିଏ କହୁଛି ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ତାକତ ଅଛି ମୋର ବହୁତ ଶକ୍ତିଶାଳୀ ଲୋକ ମୋତେ କରୋନା ହେବନି. No, you should not. Corona is such type of disease, very dangerous disease. It does not obey anybody or own body immunity. Means don't overestimate your body immunity. Always stay indoors. And gender the age bias किए कहूँ मु तो पूरा टोका अच्छी मत मोर ये हेबानी. I am being a very young and energetic guy and I will not suffer from this disease. No, these are all the rumors, right? And age bias, it is age bias in the gender. Some people say the men are more stronger than the female. These are the social taboos present in our society. No, not at all, because all the corona does not know the gender and the age. So it's better to stay indoors in order to cut the transmission route. So avoid the social gathering. So being a responsible veterinarian, I would give you again, please don't believe in fake news, rumors, on body immunity, gender, the age bias, and the social gathering. Finally, the prevention is better than cure, right? So as there is no cure for this disease, no proper medicines, no vaccines is still evolved from this disease. So prevention is only the options in order to fight with this disease. So prevention is always it is n number of times is better than the cure. So these are the COVID 2019. So transmissions occurs through air, through human contact, through handshakes, through the contaminated objects. And you may also, if you have any symptoms like sneezing, fever, and the dry cough and the shortness in the breathing, then you should immediately call the medicos and go for the screening test. So always again I am appealing to my citizens or appealing to my brothers and sisters of this republic that wash your hands every time with hand wash, with soaps, with sanitizers, and avoid contact with the animals. Try to keep less contact, and the well done cooking, under cooking को आमे अवॉइड करिया. ऑलवेज बेटर कुक्ड फूड को आमे करिया. यूज मास्क ऑलवेज व्हेनेवर यू आर आउटसाइड. So this is the recently the government of India has issued this internet site, or this is the site to watch very regularly the progress of this corona 2019 disease. So this is the, if you take sufficient amount of precaution, if you use social distancing measure, if you stay indoors, if we wash our hands very properly, if we take better cooked food, then the corona will not take our life. So this umbrella is the guidelines given by the WHO, the preventive measures given by the government, the lockdown called by their Prime Minister Modi. So this is, so you the umbrella is in one go, it is everything for us. So it is my again request, dear my citizens, please, you should not come outside, stay indoors for 21 days, please. So thank you for hearing my lectures, thank you for hearing my voice, to how to check what is this act is, how to check this disease. If you truly enjoyed this my sessions, please do your valuable like, comment, share, and finally subscribe my channel. Again, I would request you to press the bell icon so that when I will post a next video, then you will get an early notifications. Till the next video, stay safe, stay indoor. God bless. Thank you. Have a good day.